The government is set to construct 130 new homes for Bahamians, and a focus minister is moving swiftly to revolutionize the home building process. Details when we come back.
This is Lloyd and Lisa Jones. This is their beautiful home. Everything is in its place. This is their perfect yard. Everyone can see that they believe in clean, green, and pristine. Everyone but the man upstairs. It seems this couple dumps their garbage wherever they want to. So, what's the moral of the story?
Don't litter!
Keep the whole Bahamas clean, green, and pristine, not just your property, because he knows your dirty little secret.
Welcome to Your Government in Action. I'm your host, Joy Roger. The issue of home ownership and the government's ability to provide the opportunity for Bahamians to purchase quality homes has been a topic of interest for a number of years. Thousands of Bahamians continue to hope to make their dream of home ownership a reality. The minister responsible for housing, the Honorable Ken Dorsett, understands the frustration felt by thousands who seek out the government's assistance in purchasing a home and waiting patiently for a reply. The minister, a former chairman of the Housing Commission, has committed himself to modernizing the government's home building process. The minister is focused, determined, and relentless in his quest to provide the Bahamian people value for money. He has implemented several initiatives in the past months to ensure that this happens. Your Government in Action team member, Ms. Gina Gibbs, recently sat with the minister to discuss the innovations taking place in the Ministry of Housing. Gina?
Minister, let's talk about the long waiting list for government homes. What are your plans to help Bahamians in obtaining home ownership?
Well, interestingly, I served between 2002 to 2007 as the chairman of the Housing Commission. At that time, there was a significant list of applicants who were interested in a government home. I think at that time, it was in excess of 6,000 or 7,000 people. In being appointed the minister responsible for housing last year, May, I immediately asked the Department of Housing to complete an audit for me to understand the demand for homes. Thus far, they have indicated to me that there are about 4,000 plus people who they have indicated are interested in a government home. However, what I also came to appreciate upon becoming the minister is that there are a number of files that have been lost and or destroyed over the years. And so one of the things that I did immediately was set about the creation of a database to ensure that we can have an electronic means of knowing who has applied, when they have applied, so that we minimize the amount of paper being exchanged in the process and provide a mechanism by which people can know what the status of their application may be at any given time just by logging online. And so the Department of Housing database has now been launched at dohbahamas.com. It's fully functional. And what we are now doing is ensuring that those persons who have applied in the past, that their data is inputted into the database. And so we're encouraging people out there, whether you applied last year, 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, either come into the ministry or department and ensure that your information is put into the database, or log online to the website and it'll just basically show you how you go about putting that information in. But I think it will help us to have a better understanding of what the demand is out there, to understand those who qualify for the existing homes that we make available, and even for those who do not qualify for those homes. I will then be able to have an understanding of what they qualify for. And so it's a part of the whole exercise, as I've continually talked about, being about informed decision making, having science or information guide the policy process. And so I'm really excited about what we're going to be doing in housing, Gina.
So, I mean, when a file is destroyed, is it because that person didn't qualify, or is there any sort of policy for the Ministry of Housing to destroy a file?
No, I don't think that from my understanding, files were not destroyed. But the Department of Housing has moved from location to location. Some of the files were placed in damp areas. They were filled with mold and the like, and so unfortunately that has happened. And so, as I said, the sad reality is those people who may have submitted applications then, there's really no record of it. And those people may still be under the assumption that their application is pending. And so that's one of the reasons why the department encourages people to update their files regularly to make sure that you're in the system. But the good thing about the new database is that when you apply online, it confirms and acknowledges that you have registered, and you're given a unique identifier or unique identification number that will follow you throughout your application to approval process.
So, Minister, in reference to energy and housing, are you also encouraging applicants to consider building green homes? Consider plans that have green homes?
Well, absolutely. I mean, not only are we asking them to consider it, we are actually going to ensure that our models are in fact energy efficient and greener. And so I'm happy that we have been able to have the benefit of an architect assigned to us from the Ministry of Works, who has helped us on developing new plans for our models. Vertical construction is going to become a reality under our term. The fact of the matter is we're not growing any land. And so we need to make sure that we maximize the land that is available to us for home construction.
So actually building up rather than building out.
Building up rather than building out is something that we are going to aggressively pursue in this term in office. And so we've been looking at new construction systems, some of which can save us money, but definitely can provide us with more energy efficient ratings on the homes, which should make them cooler and hopefully reduce people's electrical bills at the end of the day. The Bahamas Mortgage Corporation, which I'm also responsible for, is also looking at, under my mandate, means by which they can finance the installation of solar water heaters and or photovoltaics moving forward as a part of our efforts to help customers of the housing program to reduce their electricity bills.
So that actually helps when they're actually including all of the appliances in their mortgage payment as opposed to going to another bank and financing those.
Well, we won't be paying for appliances, but certainly we're looking at a mechanism by which we can fund existing clients for the installation of the solar water heater, which is something that we ordinarily provide a home. But thus far we've been installing electrical water heaters. And so we want to provide something that's more energy efficient. And should we have the ability, as a matter of policy or law, to provide funding for the photovoltaics for customers that we already have in the system, that's something that we're also contemplating. At the end of the day, the more money our people save in their electricity bill, we believe the better off they will be in servicing the mortgage. And so we want to do all that we can to help reduce the carbon footprint, but also make things a little easier for those persons who buy a home from us.
Now, your existing customers that are now paying mortgages, and I guess that have had difficulty paying their mortgages, how are your policies helping the mortgage corporation collect its back debt? That
Well, certainly I want to commend the staff at the Mortgage Corporation because they have really been doing a wonderful job. The delinquency rate has come down by 2 points, and I think there's still more room. But what they are doing is basically leaving the desk, going into the subdivisions and homes, and directly consulting and talking to those persons who find it challenging in meeting their mortgage payments currently, whether it's because they lost a job or otherwise. And so what we have found out is that, generally speaking, when we made the clarion call in the past, people were either afraid to come forward because they didn't understand what the consequences would be. And so the team has been more proactive in how they address it. And so we've really beefed up our debt collection and arrears division at BMC. And we are working with BMC borrowers as best as we can. Now, coupled with that, we are also hoping that the government will favorably consider the recommendations that BMC has made regarding the mortgage relief plan to ensure that more of our borrowers can get relief under that plan that's being advanced by the Ministry of Finance.
Okay, we'll discuss a little bit more about that after we come back.
Minister Dorsett has overseen the creation of an online database which will record and house the applications and supporting documentation of all persons applying to purchase a government-built home. The minister has also commissioned new home designs that will come on stream under his watch. Stay tuned to find out about the minister's vision for the use of private inspectors when Your Government in Action returns.